I watched the footage yesterday of the Southampton protests, and I gotta say, I don't advocate you do that. I think it's stupid to use your anger throwing plant pots at the police and throwing bins that are on fire. That's just ridiculous. But I understand the anger. I understand the frustration. I understand the rage. I can condemn the actions, but I am not condemning the rage. I am not condemning the anger of people. I get it. I understand why the British people are so pissed off. And their anger, their rage, their fury is not the cause, it is the symptom. It is the symptom of a system which fundamentally hates white people and is leading to our extinction, rape, murder, and demise. I am not going to condemn their anger. The one thing that the government always fails to recognize, the one thing that the system always fails to recognize, is these protests always happen because there is a fundamental disalignment between the way in which this country is going and the way that we want it to go. The people that were there because a white man was killed by a foreigner. They watched the video of an 18-year-old white boy preaching out for help whilst his murderer lied about an alleged racist attack with no evidence. There is no evidence even to this day. We watched a white race traitor police officer throw him to the ground, drag him across the concrete, tell him, "I don't think you have me," when Henry begged for help, saying that he had been stabbed. And this police officer says, "I don't think you have, mate." And then handcuff and read out his rights to a corpse. And I think what's more infuriating about the video is the way that instead of checking Henry's health and making sure that he was okay, which is their job to do, if your suspect says that they are injured, you are supposed to check if they are injured. Instead of doing that, the police officer's response was to go up to the Sikh guy, the Indian guy, and ask if he was okay. I don't give a fuck if he's okay. What? And you wonder why the people in Southampton are angry. You wonder why they're angry. You wonder why they're pissed off. And I've listened to what the Prime Minister said. I've listened to what the politicians have said. And I've got a few critiques here that I want to make. Number one, saying Henry's dad said he doesn't want to steer the flames of division. Yes, he's going to say that because if he was to say anything otherwise, he would be attacked by the media and there would be a hate campaign after him. Of course he's going to say that. Of course he's going to say that. I do not care what the foreign-owned media companies have to say about Henry's dad's reaction. I do not care. The fundamental reality is the system which is being employed has led to a white guy be oppressed and dismissed to the point where he drowned in his own blood, gasping for help on the cold, hard pavement of some stranger's home because some foreigner screeched racism. That is the fundamental understanding of this case. I am not going to sit and pretend like I give a flying fuck about what Henry's dad said, because I know damn well, and I've read the Southampton Times saying that a lot of Henry's friends were there yesterday at the protest with his family watching the live streams. I do not give a fuck what the media says, because I know damn well Henry's dad would have been forced into saying something along those lines, and it is fundamentally a result of a system that hates us. It wants, and this is what people need to get into their head. The system that we have at play does not like you one bit. There is nothing about it that likes you nor you can justify. The system that we have, the laws that we have, the police service that we have, the legislative branch that we have, the courts that we have, the invasion that we have, they hate white people. They systematically want to kill us. This is it. White people either sit back and allow it to happen and allow us to be rolled over and allow us to be killed and allow us to be exiled. We either allow that to happen, or we stand up for ourselves, for our racial group, for our future, for our kids, and we demand change. We take political power. We do what every other group does, and we vote based on our racial interest. How about that? You either, and I mean this nicely, and I say this to all the white people out there, you either fight for change, serious change, a political situation which works for us, with a political system which works for us, or you die. It is as simple as that. It is at no expense of what they are trying to do. Look at what they've always done. Look at the world wars. Look at the current wars. Look at the prison system. Look at the legislation that punishes you. Every single thing has worked against white people. Every single time. That is why people are mad. That is what we saw in the video. And in fact, it's quite poetic, and I don't mean this nicely. I mean this as a tragedy, not a tragedy, but a cold, hard murder. It is poetic that the white man will be the one that dies at the hands of a system upheld by other white people and ran by foreigners. That is what Henry's death has shown. Your system works against you. It works for your destruction. It works in the interest of the invaders. So I understand the anger of the protesters in Southampton. I think the anger is misdirected into events like last night rather than serious political change and tribalism and nativism and action and communitarianism. I think that's what we should be using the anger on. But I completely understand the rage and the anger, and I will not disavow the fury that my people feel right now. I will not disavow that.